he didn't even make it 9 laps. 9, not laps down, not laps behind the leader. 9 laps before his afternoon was over and he was climbing out of a wrecked race car for the 3rd consecutive weekend. Connor Zilisch was supposed to be the future of this sport. 10 wins last year in NASCAR's lower series, the most hyped teenage prospect in years. And right now, in the Cup Series, he can't stay on the track long enough to matter. What is happening to this kid, and is there a way out? At Michigan International Speedway, Zilisch's race unraveled before it ever got started. 3 laps in, he lost the rear end of the car in turn 3 and backed it hard into the wall. The Trackhouse crew repaired the number 488 Chevrolet and sent him back out. 6 laps later, it happened again, this time at turn 2. The car snapping around violently and going nose first into the inside wall on the back stretch. That was it. Race over. Before Michigan, Zilisch lasted 52 laps at the Coca-Cola 600 after getting caught up in someone else's wreck, then 71 laps at Nashville before a brake rotor failure ended his race. 3 straight weekends, 3 last-place finishes, 3 single points scored. I was really loose. It's just unfortunate. Another short race for us. We'll go try again at Pocono. That was all he had to say. And honestly, what else is there to say at this point? To understand how bad this stretch really is, you need to remember what Connor Zilisch looked like just 12 months ago. The kid was putting up numbers in NASCAR's development ranks that had the entire garage talking. 10 wins, dominant runs, a physical, fearless driving style that made veteran scouts use words like generational. Trackhouse Racing believed in that potential enough to hand a 19-year-old a full-time Cup Series seat, one of the most demanding environments in professional motorsport. That's not a small bet. That's a franchise-altering commitment. But the 2026 Cup season has been a crash course in why so few teenagers survive the jump directly to the top level of NASCAR. Zilisch has no finish better than 14th all year and 7 finishes of 30th or worse. The car he's driving, which qualified 34th at Michigan, clearly has issues that go beyond one driver's performance. All 3 Trackhouse entries qualified 30th or worse at Michigan, with teammates Shane Van Gisbergen and Ross Chastain also bleeding positions early in the race. This isn't just about Zilisch. There is something organizationally wrong at Trackhouse right now. And when the car is that far off, it puts a rookie in an impossible position trying to learn a 200-mile-per-hour track while simultaneously managing a machine that won't cooperate. Here's the honest breakdown. What Zilisch is experiencing is the collision between exceptional raw talent and an environment that isn't set up to develop that talent right now. And that distinction matters enormously. When a young driver crashes twice in 9 laps on a superspeedway, the immediate reaction is to question the driver. That's understandable, but look at the context. He described the car as really loose, meaning the rear of the car had no stability, which is precisely the condition that sends cars into the wall at high speed. That's a setup problem before it's a skill problem. When all 3 of your team's cars qualify in the bottom 6 and your teammates are falling backwards through the field while complaining about handling, the data tells a clear story. The deeper concern is what this kind of stretch does to a 19-year-old's confidence. Motorsport is brutally psychological. When you're crashing every week, when you can't trust the feedback the car is giving you, when the race ends before you had time to find a rhythm, that eats at a driver. And the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes to approach the next race with the aggression you need to be competitive. Zilisch showed enormous promise on tracks where talent could carry him. Cup Series superspeedways are a different animal entirely. They require mechanical precision and setup mastery that a team has to provide. If Trackhouse can't get the baseline right on that number far still. 88 car, they are actively putting their investment in this young driver at risk, not just on the results sheet, but mentally. The clock is ticking. Every week that passes without a clean race is a week where the league's most exciting young talent is being defined not by what he can do, but by what's going wrong around him. The NASCAR fan base is split right down the middle on this, and the divide is generational as much as anything else. Younger fans, the ones who followed Zilisch through his development run and bought into the hype, are circling the wagons. They're pointing at the team's qualifying struggles, the setup complaints from Chastain and Van Gisbergen, and arguing that no driver on earth could survive what Zilisch is being asked to drive right now. And they're not entirely wrong. But the older, more traditional NASCAR audience has a simpler read. Championships aren't won by people who crash twice before lap 10. They believe the Cup Series will sort out whether a driver is truly ready, and right now, the series is giving its verdict loud and clear. In the media, the conversation is shifting from when will Zilisch break out to does Trackhouse need to reassess the entire program. That's a significant change in tone, and it's one that will only intensify if next weekend at Pocono produces another early exit. Trackhouse takes the Michigan weekend as a wake-up call and throws serious engineering resources at that number 88 car. They find the setup window. Zilisch gets a clean race at Pocono. Not a win, not a top 10, just a clean race where he runs 300-plus laps and builds confidence. The talent was never the question. The question was always whether this team could build an environment around a teenager that lets him grow. A stable car changes everything for a driver with his instincts. The mechanical issues persist, the DNFs pile up, and the psychological weight of the season starts to compound. A 19-year-old can absorb a certain amount of adversity before it starts to reshape how he approaches a race car. If Trackhouse can't fix the fundamental car problems before the summer stretch, they risk doing lasting damage to a prospect whose ceiling on the right equipment is as high as anyone in the field. Wasted potential at 19 is a sports tragedy with a very long shelf life. Connor Zilisch is 19 years old, and he has 3 consecutive DNFs into the hardest year of his life. The talent is not in question. The situation around that town very much is. The next few weekends aren't just about points or standings. They're about whether Trackhouse Racing can get the infrastructure right before the weight of a difficult rookie season starts leaving marks that don't wash off. Pocono is next, and at this point, just seeing that 88 cross the finish line will feel like a victory.